Hello everyone, Simon here. Welcome back to our playthrough of Shadowrun Hong Kong. You thought the game was over. The game is not over because there's more game. Shadows of Hong Kong bonus. Hey, we got a bit of an intro here. Set in the weeks following the events of the main campaign, Shadows of Hong Kong will give you and your team the opportunity to turn the tables on the corporate police force that once hunted you. Through layers of corporate greed and urban strife, you will contend with dangerous enemies, uncover a dangerous conspiracy, and cement your reputation as a prime runner, assuming that you survive, of course. So I don't know how long this is. This is like a bonus campaign, but I don't actually know how long it is. It could be just like a DLC, like an extra, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. It could be like the whole thing, a full-size thing again. I have no idea. Alright, so we're gonna go with the normal difficulty once again. Let's not be too crazy. And we're gonna pick our last save. Rude Awakening! Something is wrong. The last that you remember, it was the night of the Kowloon City riots. You and your team were running an errand for Kindly Chang, recovering an object before the inevitable police response turned the city upside down. Everything was going well. You had the item in hand, and then nothing. The world went black. A sudden explosion of pain behind your eyes jolts you back to the present. A nightmarish succession of dream images flicker through your consciousness like a strobe light. A man with a pockmarked face, slim fingers playing over the surface of your brain, leaving a slug's trail of agony in their wake. A second figure whose face you couldn't see, digging with relish through the scraps of memory that your tormentor left behind. It was a rough night, and now as your eyes snap open and adjust to the light, you find yourself in a reality that is little more comfort. Alright. So, something happened. Something definitely happened. Uh, the night of the Kowloon City riots. I don't know what happened. Alright, I'm gonna let the game explain itself, right? Oh, well, that's convenient. A single bulb hangs from a corrugated steel roof. The dim light that it casts is barely enough to illuminate the table in front of you. Your head throbs in time with your heartbeat, and each pulse gives rise to a low, grinding, stomach-churning discomfort. Heavy weights on your wrist tells you that you've been handcuffed. Try to clear your head. You squeeze your eyes shut and count to 10. The pain in your head slowly dissipates, and your vision gradually swims back into focus. There's a rag on your lap, an old dishcloth, matted from congealed blood. The dull ache that radiates from the bridge of your nose up and into your sinuses tell you where it came from. Alright, somebody punched me in the nose. Try to examine your surroundings. The room is dark, far too dark for you to make out its dimensions. All that you can see with any clarity are your own lap and the table in front of you. Try to focus. Squinting, you try to focus on the hazy objects in the distance. A searing jolt of pain is your reward. With the pain comes a dream image, branded into your memory with crystal clarity. The first of your tormentors, the man with the pockmarked face. For a few tortuous seconds, the image swims through your head, wiggling like an eel. Then, as suddenly as it came, the pain dissipates, fading away until it is swallowed by the relentless ache that throbs between your temples. Okay, I mean, the game is spending a lot of words on headache. In the distance, you can hear the pop hiss of a pneumatic door unlatching and sliding open. An enormous figure steps into the room, and the door slides shut behind him. Speaking of which, we never had a troll on our team. We have like 2 orcs, 1 dwarf, 1 ghoul, and 2 humans. No elves and no trolls. Interesting. Do we have any elves in all 3 games? Or the first game you didn't really keep your team. We've had no elven teammates in the entire series. Isn't that interesting? You can just barely make out the silhouette of the troll standing across the table from you. Your other senses work to fill in the blanks. He's got a heavy build. The floor creaks every time he shifts his weight. The rustle of fabric over hard, sharp keratin tells you that he has prominent dermal deposits. He's also wearing way too much cologne. From the chest up, the darkness swallows him. You can't see his face. Say nothing. The room remains silent as he busies himself arranging objects on the table in front of him. A notepad, a mug of soy calf, an old ballpoint pen, an audio recorder. Finally, he looks up from the objects and focuses on you. Is he a cop? Good morning, Mr. C. The words roll in his throat like rocks in a tumbler. How are you feeling today? Did you sleep well? Aside from the fact that I spent the night bleeding into a dirty towel, I'm great. Oh, poor baby. And I thought that you Shadowrunners were supposed to be tough. No, I said I was great, except for the nosebleed. If it's any consolation, the nosebleed was expected. It's a common side effect of magical interrogation. You had your people poke around in my head, didn't you? They did something to me while I was unconscious. Yeah, that's right. Our mage probed your mind while you slept. He lifts the mug out of the light and towards his lips. You hear a long, loud slurp as he sucks the steaming fluid down. Don't know the man myself, but I'm given to understand that he's good. Uses a light touch. Not he, them. Two of your people went to work on my head last night. Well, we can't assume that the other guy is also with them. You call this a light touch? Believe me, that nosebleed could have been a whole lot worse. We didn't have to put you on fluids, did we? He sets the mug down on the table. Murky liquid sloshes over the rim. He was even kind enough to give you a cloth to bleed into. Yeah, okay, so we have to mention the other person. I don't think the other person belongs to him. You're only talking about one of your interrogators. No mention of the other one. His brow furrows. What other one? I don't know what you're talking about. No, the game... the game railroads you into this. The other guy, there was another person that he doesn't know about the other person. Your pal with the skin condition didn't mess up my nose. It was the other one, the second mage. You're lying. I saw your guy with a light touch, and after he was gone, someone else showed up to continue the party. He shrugs. Must be a figment of your imagination. It happens sometimes. The brain invents details to try to make sense of what's happening to it. Give it a few days and the confusion should fade away, you'll see. Somehow I don't find your argument very convincing. We don't even have two mages on site, ACKC. There's no way that you got scanned twice. Well, I mean, I'm telling you there was another person. Maybe you should look out. He shrugs his broad shoulders, but hey, believe what you want. Don't let it distract you though, we've got work to do. Now let's get to it, shall we? He shuffles his papers, flips open the notebook on the table with the tip of his pen. Run me through what happened last night. I have no idea what happened last night. What was the point of the mind probe if you're gonna interrogate me anyway? Magic is great for pulling facts from a person's memory. It isn't so good at contextualizing them. What we got from you was a jumble of disorganized information. It would take a lot of guesswork on our part to piece those facts together into a coherent narrative. You cooperate with us, tell us the story as you remember it, and you can spare us some of that work. That'd be good for you in the long term. If you lie to me though, well, just don't. I'll know it. Now if you please, tell me what happened last night. Just start at the beginning and take me through it until the moment we've picked you up. I mean, I don't like this sort of storytelling. Like, it dumps you into a thing, and then in a conversation, the game asks you to tell the story, what happened before the story. Like, what was that supposed to mean? Um, if I'm gonna talk, I wanna know who I'm talking to. You got a name? Me? Sure, call me Mr. Yang. Now tell me what I want to hear, and this will be a pleasant encounter for both of us. Alright, Mr. Yang, if you want to go over what your people put from my head, I'll play along. That's the spirit. He turns on the audio recorder with an audible click. Now, we already know that your team went to Combat Pangs, the biker bar. That your boss, Kindly Chang, sent you out there to conduct a shakedown of some sort. Shakedown is such an ugly word. We engaged in a spirited negotiation, that's all. The owner of the bar had something that didn't belong to him. Auntie Cheng sent us to get it back. Combat Pang stole from the wrong person. He's lucky that Kindly didn't have him skinned alive. Alright, wait. Auntie Cheng sent it to get it back. Right, the artifact. He glances at the notebook on the table. It says here that it was a Jade Kong from the Ling Xiao's period. Liang Xiao period. That Liang Zhu period, my bad. Liang Zhu period dated back to 3000 BC or thereabouts. That's right. Pang stole it because he thought it was magical. Turns out it was just old. Our mage confirmed as much. Oh, we've got your boss's Kong locked up for safekeeping, by the way. It's in good hands with us. Now, we know that you didn't go to Pang's alone, one at a time. Could you please list the other members of your team? Seriously? How can you not know that already? Just answer the question, please. He taps the recorder with the tip of his pen for our records. I don't like the way... I don't like the way, like this sort of thing? Like, the story is telling us to tell them the story? Like, what the hell is that about? Why am I telling you the story? You're the storyteller. I'm the player, I'm the audience. Gobbet, she's heard that Combat Pangs has really good bar food. Gobbet, the orc girl with the rodent fixation. He jots down a note on his pad. K. And who else? Isabel was there. The dwarf, right, quiet little thing. Alright, got it. And who was the last member of your team? Oh, come on, man, you already know this. Don't you have the others in holding somewhere? Just answer the question. Guide you, man. It was guide you. The ghoul. You know, I can't understand why anyone would willingly associate with a corpse eater. I mean, he's got better breath than you, asshole. The pen dances over the pad a final time, then stops. Your interrogator glances up at you. Guess it doesn't bother you, though. Alright, Cheng sent the group of you to Combat Pangs to recover a very old rock. And she sent you on the eve of one of the bloodiest riots in Kowloon's history. Funny timing, don't you think? Not at all. We used the riot for cover. With all of the civil unrest in the streets, the cops were bound to be busy. I would much rather like playing through the mission instead of telling. I mean, Jesus, what? The distant sounds of urban chaos ring in your ears as you led your team through a series of constrictive back alleys. It was hot out, sweltering, and the humidity left your body drenched. A bad night for a ride, but it made for a good cover. You've been making good time since you left Hioi, and Combat Pangs was only a few blocks away. We're getting close. Her nostrils flared as she sniffed the air. Smell that? Garlic, onion, sizzling oil. I'm thinking chicken wings. You have a very selective sense of smell. For my part, I can taste blood, tear gas, smoke, and motor oil on the wind. And in the distance, I hear the sounds of crunching bone and the rev of V-twin engines, even over the cacophony of the riots. Yes, all of those things, and also chicken. The guy that Pang has working the grill is supposed to be like some kind of kitchen wizard. He caramelizes the wings in fish sauce. That's what the guy at the bus stop told me. I mean, how amazing is that? I could go for some chicken. See, Seattle gets it. The cops are gonna be out in force because of the riots, and we only fire in self-defense. Are we clear on that? If that is your wish, then so be it. The ghoul let out a low growl. We should keep moving. The riots have provided excellent cover for our advance, but they will not last forever. The alleyway stretched out ahead of you, its claustrophobic confines seeming to converge together in the distance. Your team began to move. Alright. Why couldn't we play through the previous bits too? I don't know, man. Some interrogation thing. The two figures in dirty riding leathers stood facing the shop window. The patches sewn into the backs of their jackets called them out as members of the Black Sun Boys. A small-time outfit, one of a dozen in a neighborhood that all operated under the supervision of Eddie Combat Pang. The window was unbroken, but not from their lack of trying. You could see a half a dozen indentations in the transblast, and as many spent shell casings on the ground. The troll was working on an access panel, trying to brute force his way through the shop's security system. His human companion rocked on his heels, practically salivating over whatever was locked inside. Poor idiots haven't put two and two together, have they? They're at the one intact storefront on this block, and they haven't stopped to think that maybe there's a reason why nobody looted it yet. The place has transblast windows. What you want to bet it has automated defenses and an alarm system too. If these two trip a building alarm, that could bring a security team right to the spot, riots or no riots. I don't give a damn about the alarm. This block is paying kindly for protection, and these two aren't hers. They deserve whatever they get. I say we just keep moving. Well, I just said that we only fire in self-defense. Alright, let's keep moving. Works for me. Let these tools take themselves out of the gene pool. That said, they look like they've been out here for a while. They might be able to tell us about the police presence up ahead. If you could get them to talk to us, your call. I'll go with whatever you decide to do. Alright, let's talk. I mean, if they shoot at us, it'll be a good excuse to kill them. The human ganger turns on his heel, spinning to face you, an exaggerated, frenetic motion. He was probably riding a cram high. He snarled at you through a mouthful of crooked teeth. Hey strangers, this is our alley, Black Sun Boys' turf, not a place for tourists. You scoot your narrow asses back off of this block and out of our sight, or I'll make you sorry you were ever born. Alright, we don't have strength 7. We don't have gang etiquette. Easy, we're not looking for trouble. Got a question for you though. What do I look like? A goddamn newsfax? Can't you see that we're busy? He turns his head and spits. An enormous glob of phlegm splatters against the asphalt. All this ash in the air, it's fucking up my sinuses. Got me in a bad mood. Now back away before I break your nose. Yeah, you're busy. But I bet that you know if there are any cops up ahead, am I right? His eyes narrowed. Yeah, I might. What finding out be worth to you? You know what? Nothing. Good luck with the door, I'm sure that you've almost got it. The looter stared at you as you turned away, his mouth curled into a frown. Eventually he turned back to watch his companion struggle with the door panel. Well, we didn't get an excuse to kill him.